Hello, everybody. You're playing Mahjong, Riichi Mahjong. You probably clicked on this because you already know what Riichi Mahjong is, but let's go. Alright. First round in the dealer seat. Nice, nice. Let's look at what our shapes are like. We got a pair there, outside bulge thing there. The pair, and then a 5-7-9 thing. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I think at this point we're just looking to, just fill in all these shapes. Call Riichi, win some points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually have 6 shapes in the hand. So we can cut one of them. As for like which one? Good question. Good question. So we could cut one of the 3s out of this shape here. That would be alright. We could also cut this thing, which I think alternatively cut the 9, which I think is what we'll do. We're sitting on 4 pairs, so we could consider Chitoitsu 7 pairs. We'll see if we pull like a 4, 6, 2, 4, 5, one of those things. Then we look at it and we go, oh, now we're at 5 pairs. Yeah, this seems like a good Chitoitsu angle. Got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He calls reach. Sure. Always cracks me up when somebody calls Riichi and then their like custom theme music starts playing. I'm honestly not paying too much attention to what I'm cutting here. Chitoitsu doesn't really care about most traditional sized and shaped shapes. Does make me wonder though, like, what if in real life, anytime someone was about to succeed at something, ethereal music started playing out of nowhere? Like, look how cool I am. Somebody on Tumblr's probably made a little doodle out of that. Do we pivot to like all triplets? Well, no, but might consider it. This is one thing I always wonder when I'm in, like, when I've got 5 pairs sitting there. I'm like, well, this is obviously like a 7 pairs angle. But, like, if we can pawn, do we? Like, why pawn that? It's the West Wind. You just guaranteed you can't get Tanya, and you can't get Riichi. Those are, like, the 2 best Yaku in the game, and you just said, hey, look, I don't want any of those. The only reason you go for it is because you're settling for a second best Yaku in the game, which is, triplet honors. But you can only get that on the round wind or the seat wind or the dragons. And he's in the south seat in the east round. And he grabs the west wind. Why? Why, though? My hand's looking interesting here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cut these. That's not a great shape, but, take what you can get, right? A bad shape is better than a floating tile. Is the thing. This is not a shape. That's a 6. This is a 6 and an 8. Just objectively better. Again, 6 and an 8. Now we're going to cut this one. Because this 5-6 can accept a 7. But the way we have it now, this 6-8 can also accept a 7. And so our 6-8 thing does not increase the tile acceptance of this shape. It just accepts the shape we can, or accepts the tile we can already accept. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Do we pawn that? No. But as for why not, pretty simple. The same reason I am confused as to why he pawned that. You can't call Riichi if you pawned. And Riichi is one of the easiest to attain Yaku. Like, total. Period. Just at all. And so doing something that says, I will not call Riichi this entire game. Well, entire round. You only really do that if you have something that is objectively better. Right. That's, I've got a Yaku in my hand, right? So, bro's definitely sitting on a pair of something. Pair of dragons, or... Well, it's not green or red dragons, otherwise he would have pawned them. Probably sitting on a pair of white dragons. I don't see any of those out. Waiting for somebody to discard them. We are one away from Tenpai here. We've got a 2 or a 5 mon. Completes that shape. We cut the 6 and go into our little Ramen wait. That Ramen is a Tenpai where you've got a bunch of completed shapes and then 2 consecutive tiles, and you're waiting for the one at the end or the one right before it. Yeah. It's one of the most reliable weights. Just a good old Riichi Dora. Nothing crazy. So I started playing this game a couple weeks ago. Uh, you've probably seen Northern Lion played Riichi Mahjong, and then Yusong reacted to Northern Lion playing Riichi Mahjong, and Northern Lion and Yusong played Riichi Mahjong. I've been following Northern Lion for ages. I mean, pretty much everybody who follows Twitch stuff knows about Northern Lion, at least, even if they don't watch his videos regularly. So I was like, oh, well, it seems like an interesting game. I'll give it a shot. And it was... First, it was really complicated and confusing. Which, I mean, that's a pretty universal experience learning a new game. But, you know, you go into Fullerton and you're like, what is this? Why does it say I can't call Ron? Why did you call the North Wind? I don't know. But, you know, it's only been a week or two, and I've gotten quite a bit better. There's two factors I'd suggest to anyone who wants to get better at this game. Read Riichi Book 1 and play Mahjong. Wow, playing the game makes you better at the game. I know. It's crazy. We're one away from Tenpai now. We're not going to worry too much about dealing into him. It either happens or it doesn't, you know. This early in a round, you don't really have a lot of information about what's safe to discard, what's, you know, what's safe, what's dangerous. If you're one away from Tenpai and there's only one row of discards, you just kind of pretend Tenpai doesn't exist. Or kind of pretend Riichi doesn't exist, rather. It's like, okay, you've got like 2 safe tiles. You discard them. And then what? You've ruined your hand. You got like 2 or 3 turns of not dealing in. And now you're left with no safe tiles and no way to win. So just ignore the Riichi. Just play the game. And if you get a bit further and your hand still isn't going good, you can fold with a little bit more knowledge and confidence. And less, oh, I hope this doesn't deal in. So I started reading Riichi Book 1, which is a intermediate level Riichi Mahjong strategy guide. It's written by... I don't remember what her name is. Her full name, at least. I don't remember her full name. It's this British woman. And on the first page, it lists her name, and then in parentheses, it lists how to pronounce it. And it's spelled D-I-A-N-A. And then in parentheses, it says pronounced like D-I-N-E-R. And it threw me for a loop for a moment before I remembered that she was British. Because in American English, at least, that would be pronounced diner, not Dinah. So yeah. I guess that's repair there. Sequence. That's a sequence. That's a sequence. That's a sequence. We don't need the 3. Like, the 3-4 is nice, but also, like, entirely redundant with the 6-7 and the 4-5. 6-7. Whereas the pair of 4s is something that we don't have anywhere else. But we'll cut that first. We don't need that. I feel so stupid. 6-7. I really shouldn't find that as funny as I do. And I know what people like to say. Stop mocking the little young people for having stupid inside jokes. Like, we had stupid inside jokes. I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's my job to mock the young people for their stupid inside jokes, just as it was my parents' generation's job to mock me for my stupid inside jokes. And Gen Z will mock Gen Omega or whatever comes next for their stupid inside jokes. It's part of the circle of life. That's fun. A triplet and 2 honor pairs. Yes, we pawn that. See, this is when you pawn. You pawn when you have something that gives you a Yaku. You're giving up Tanyao, and you're giving up Riichi. But that's okay, because we gained a south triplet. That's a Yaku. That's a Yaku. These are really bad weights. This is an edge. That's better. That's much better. It's an edge thing, and then that was a closed weight, but now it's a 2-sided weight. Ideal draw would be like the 7 so here, or 7 bamboo, whatever you call it. I can remember that so is the bamboo, because sozu is the name of that like bamboo thing that goes kathunk at the bath, right? I don't know how much anime you've seen, but anytime there's like an onsen, there will be this like bamboo clock thingy that fills up with water and then empties out and goes kathunk over and over. Yeah, that's the sozu. And I know that's called a sozu because of Slay the Spire. And so the bamboo thing that goes kathunk is called the sozu, and this is bamboo, and it's called so. Hey, look. It's Riichi. Well, not Riichi. It's Tenpai. Number 1 rule about calling Khan is don't. So, I already broke that rule. Number 2 rule about calling Khan is absolutely don't call Khan if somebody else has declared Riichi. It isn't exactly clear to a lot of newer players how the Dora rules work. So in the corner up here is a set of tiles that indicate what the Dora tiles are. And if you were playing an IRL match, there would be like stacks of tiles around the table, the 4 walls, and you choose one of the walls to be the dead wall, and none of those tiles ever get drawn. They just stay in the dead wall. And one of those tiles in the dead wall gets flipped over to be the door indicator, so that's indicated right here. And if somebody makes a Khan, you flip over another door indicator. So the tile after the door indicator becomes the Dora. This is so the the Dora indicator is in the dead wall, so it never gets drawn. That means if like the 6-so is the Dora indicator, there's only going to be 3 6-so available in the round. So it'd be kind of, problematic if we made it so that the Dora indicator was the Dora, because now there's fewer Dora. But this east, so now south is the Dora. It just goes in order northeast, southwest. They start from east, south, west, north, but it's the same order. It's a loop. It goes in a loop. Skip that. Cut. White dragon. And then the dragons go in alphabetical order. So it's green, red, white. But if you call a con, you flip over another Dora indicator. And if you win while you're in Riichi, you flip over the tiles underneath the Dora indicators, since the dead wall is stacked too high. And so you'd flip over the ones underneath those, and so you'd have twice as many Dora indicators if you win while in Riichi. So if I'm sitting here and my opponents are in Riichi, and I am not, there is zero situation where I will go, yeah, I should call con right now, because that'll flip over another Dora indicator, not only giving the people in Riichi more opportunities to make normal Dora, but giving them more opportunities to collect the secret hidden Dora that you only get if you're in Riichi. So, if you're planning to call Riichi, and you've got a really nice hand, and you're like trying to farm for extra points, go for it, call con. But generally speaking, it's not a great idea. In fact, it's actually a really bad idea. If you called con every time you saw the option, you would lose points and lose games more often. Do we have a pair somewhere? We do. Which of these should I... Well, we should cut the south wind first. I was holding on to it. It's my sea wind. It's a Dora, but it's not going to be anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've got 5 shapes. This is a pretty straightforward. What are we? 1 away from Tempai? Yeah. Got the 9. No, 2. Yeah, we're 2. 2 away from Tempai. Or are we 2 from... Give me a moment. Cut that. And we cut that. Yeah, we're 2 away from Tempai. Looks like it's gonna be maybe a Tanya thing. Depends on how these 2 3 shapes work out. If we pull a 1, I'm not gonna skip a Ron just because it doesn't have the Tanya in it. Like, we take what we can get, but we'd like to get more. Yes, we need an extra tile in this shape, and we need an extra tile in this shape, and we need to cut a tile from each of these 2 shapes. So, that's 2 from Tempai. So at this point, we're just waiting on like a 5 or an 8 in Mon, a 3 or a 6 in So, or a 1, 2, or 4. Actually, no, we wouldn't want a 2 because we still need that pair. So yeah, it's one of these, something to finish this shape, something to finish this shape, cut the 3. And we're looking down the barrel of a really nice tenpai. And definitely a Tanyo. All simples. So, no 1s, no 9s, no winds, no dragons. Yes. That's good. Now we're just waiting on a good old 3-6. Going back to this 6-7 thing, a lot of people complain that the stupid inside jokes that we had made sense and they meant something, but the stupid inside jokes that the new generation have don't make sense and don't mean anything. And that's true of like 69 and 420. They, not only are they stupid inside jokes, but they also do mean something. But like, I remember like the can has cheeseburger days, and like, what does that even mean? Like, we all thought that was funny. Oh, I won. Was that only one turn left? Couldn't we have waited one turn to do that so I can get the under the river? I don't want to be ungrateful, but that was an extra Han. We got a 5-6 thing. Oh, that's a 6-7 thing with a 9. We don't need the 9 on that. Again, a 6-7 with the 9. So, 7-9's an interesting shape. And by interesting, I mean bad. But bad for interesting reasons. It can only accept the 8. But if you add a 6 to it, now it can accept a lot of things. It can accept a 5 or an 8. That's not very many, but that's 2 as opposed to the 1. And that's a lot better. There are worse shapes, but not many. We got a sequence, pair, almost a sequence. Ideally, we draw like a something. I honestly don't know what is the ideal draw here. I'll know it when I see it. But the 7-9 can easily transform into a 6-7 if we draw a 6. Whereas an 8-9 also only has one tile it accepts to become complete, and has no tiles it can accept that will make it better. Or, I guess... well, we don't need this. I suppose if you had like an 8-9, you could pull like a 6. That's not as good, but then you could cut the 9 and you'd be left with a 6-8 shape. Which is a bad shape, by the way. Again, you can still only accept the 7, but if you're then to pull a 5, you'd be able to cut the 8 and have a 5-6. It's just a really convoluted route of cutting the worst part of the shape over and over until you're left with something workable. As opposed to like a 7-8 where you can just pull a 6, or not a 7-8, a 7-9. You pull the 6, you cut the 9, and life's golden. There may have been something else I wanted to say about that, but now I can't remember. But a 6, 7, 9 shape is like, you just cut the 9. Because the 6, 7 can accept the 8 all on its own. Do we pawn here? I think we might. We've got Tanya in the bag. We can open up the hand now. And cut this, go into Tenpai. Probably should have checked as to which of those was the safer cut. It's 4, but he'd be in for 10 if he was waiting for 4. And he's already discarded 1, so we know he doesn't have a ramen weight on 2, 3, which could accept a 4. There are other weights he could have that could accept a 4, but not that one. That particular bit of logic of you've discarded a tile that is 3 tiles away from the tile I want to discard. Therefore, I know you don't have the ramen weight that is in between these 2 tiles. And if you do, you're in for 10 for it. So you wouldn't be able to draw into it. You wouldn't be able to call Ron on it anyways. That's called a... What is it called? Suji. That's called Suji. I should have cut the white wind first there. I'm in the dealer seat in an East game. This is worth 2 Dora, or 2 Han if you get the Yaku for it. Since it's the seat wind Yaku and the around wind Yaku. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make this the pair, I think. The 1 here is utterly useless. The most useless part of it, because 1, 2 can accept a 3, but 2, 4 can also accept a 3. So either the 1 or the 4 needs to go. The 4 could pick up a 5 and become a 4-5. Whereas the 1 could not pick up a 0 and become a -1, 2. Wait, that's not something that could happen. I know the white dragon looks like it's a blank tile. I know it looks like a 0. That's not a 0. Ooh, okay. Huh. Well, this 1, 2 thing is still bad. We'll cut that. And keep a 2, 3, 4. We've got a 6, 7 thing. We've got a 3, 4 thing. We've got a 1, 2, 3 thing. And a 6, 8 thing. Ideally here we draw a 5. Well, I mean, ideally we draw a 7. But in the absence of a 7, we draw a 5. Cut the 8. Huh? We got a 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, 7. We still need a pair. We're not pawning that. We've got this 2 pair, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes. If we make the 2 the pair. If we cut the 2, we're down to 5 shapes, which is what we need. But it leaves us perilous. Well, we could cut the 3, 4. I feel bad cutting a 2, 3, 4 when we got this 6, 8 over here. Like, wouldn't it be better to wait on a 2 and a 5 to make a sequence plus a pair as opposed to... Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, so we're cutting the 8 now. Now I'm a little bit more confident we can make this into 2 shapes. Another 2, another 5, a 4, or a 1 would make this into pair plus sequence. There's 4 different tiles we could pull that would turn this into pair plus sequence. So I'm just a little bit more confident about my ability to pull that off. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. 3, 3, 4. If we can't... Okay, if we pull a 3 so then we have 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. That's a pure double sequence, and that's nice. Okay, so that's a 1, 2, 3 with a pair of 4s. Cut the 2. I don't have to worry about that. That's a 6, 7. That's a 3, 4. That's a 1, 2, 3. We got the 3. As far as, like, stupid memes that don't mean anything, you know how many times I had to ask people what "do you know the way" means? Do you know how many of them could answer what "do you know the way" means? Not a single one of them. They draw some dumb frog on the whiteboards at school, and they go, "Do you know the way?" And I go, "No. The way where?" And they'd go, "Hee hee hee hee." And that was it. That's what 6, 7 is. They go 6, 7, hee 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 hee, and that's it. Still in first. Okay, this is interesting. We've got a pair of 9s, a pair of 8s, a 3, 5, 7, which has 2 different tiles it can accept, either a 4 to make a 3, 4, 5, or a 6 to make a 5, 6, 7. The thing is, you have to cut whichever side you don't use. And it takes up 3 tiles, but it only accepts 2. Whereas if you had like a ramen shape, that would be like a 6, 7 would be only 2 tiles and could accept 2 different tiles and doesn't need me to cut another tile. Just easier and more convenient all around. I'm gonna be honest. 3 so was not the correct turn 1 cut. Should have cut the green dragon first. And we got a 1, 2, a 5, 7, a 2, 4, a 5, 6, 7, an 8, 8, and a 9, 9. This 1, 2 is just bad. We're cutting that. The 2 so we want to cut that too. Yeah, the idea of memes being incomprehensible and meaning absolutely nothing is not new. Memes have always been like that. Why keep the 3? Well, it's not what we need, but it's what we deserve. No, because we might pull a 4. 6, 7, 8 with a pair of 5s. I don't like that. What do we even do with that? Now we just got a lonely 8. People are more likely to discard tiles that are near the outside, generally speaking. This isn't gospel, but it's a trend. And so if I've got 2 pairs, tenpai, one, 2, 3. If I've got 2 pairs, 2-pair tempi waiting on an 8 and a 9. That is much, much better than a 2-pair tempi waiting on a 5 and a 9. I'm starting to reconsider. Should I have tried to cut the 5-7 shape? Or should I have cut the pair of 9s? I don't know. Okay, interesting stuff here. Triplet. Closed. Wait. Open thingy. And then stuff. I don't know. What we're waiting on is that 4-pin. I mean, a 6-pin would work too. Oh no, we're in 2nd place. It's okay, 2nd place is better because 2 is more than 1. Sorry, let me try that again. Oh no. We're in 2nd place, Uwu. See, because I'm a cat girl. I mean, I'm not a cat girl. But my avatar character is a cat girl. You see? I'm sorry if I made anyone feel uncomfortable with that. Who am I kidding? I made myself uncomfortable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we don't need this north wind. Sorry. Bye, bud. You might be like, why are we keeping the west winds? I'll tell you why we're keeping the west winds. 'Cause pair. Yeah. We've got 5 pairs. You know what that means. Chitoitsu time. Which, if you can't remember from last time I explained Chitoitsu, that's 7 pairs. Screw it. Let's go for it. It's all triplets time, baby. Triplets, 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 triplets. Give me the good old west wind. You'll ever wonder why the 1 of bamboo has a bird on it? It was just like, yeah. Bamboo tile number 1 definitely is a bird. Should be careful discarding bamboo tiles on account of this player has probably yeah, that happened. Yeah, that's a half flush. Anyways, here we are in East Round 4. All last. That's how they let you know the game's almost over. You have to win now or die. And by die, I mean lose. Okay, we got 2 good shapes. And 3 good shapes. And a 9. We have our West Wind triplet. Cut the 3. Really should cut the 5 too. We don't need that. But it's shiny. It's red and shiny. Sure. Once we've opened our hand for a Yaku, there isn't really a lot of consequences for opening it further for, other stuff. If it gets us closer to Tenpai faster, then, it works. A 4-mon would be nice right now, because then we could keep the 7s as a pair. Then we got the 4-5 and the 5-6. That puts us 1 away from Tenpai with really good weights. So right now we've got this 7-8, 5-6 thing. And those are nice weights, but it leaves me without a pair if this is a 7-8. Alternatively, that could be a pair. What if we pull a 6 now? A 6-mon? So we got 5, 6, 7, and then a 7, 8. And then we just cut the 5 and keep our pair of 6s. We could do that. So we got options, is what I'm saying. Do we con this? Just so we can look at another tile? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'll be... So, we hit con. Revealed a new door tile. The door indicator is the south wind. Yes, we cheat that. Got the 6. Congratulations, we're in Tenpai. And we lost. To an all simples hand? Really? I mean, we're still in second place. But it was a 1-han hand. Now, nothing against 1-han hands. Except that, they give you what, 1,000 points? Anyways, I'm okay with second place. Second's fine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See, I'm a real YouTuber. I ask people to do things. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I feel really awkward asking. But in my personal experience, it works. Somebody says, hey, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be like, oh, yeah. I do like this, and I do want YouTube to show me more of this. And then I'll hit the subscribe button. It just, yeah. So, I'm not asking you to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do. So, anyways. Actually now, for good. For now. Not for good. For real. Goodbye.